nowadays is that perfection is just a pipe dream. You're never gonna reach it. And even if you try to reach perfection, you're just going to destroy yourself in the process.
Yeah.
Because this world's like definition of perfection
Yes.
is not what the spiritual means of perfection is in the Bible.
So you don't know how to, stay away from them. They are part of the church. They are always there on Sundays, when Wednesdays. But it's like, God, you said I must love my brethren. But this brethren, man, somehow, how? Why? It's like a tug of war. Like he's pulling this side and God is pulling this side. And I said, I can't be in between.
You have to choose.
I have to choose, and I choose you, God.
Dumelang babogedi. Hello everyone and welcome to Conversations with K. We are in the month of June, #Youth Month. And what a better way to do this conversation with the relevant people, our young people. Welcome on stage, Musa and Moses. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you so much for embracing me with this conversation. You don't know how excited I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very exciting to be here.
Yeah.
It is exciting. So today we are going to tap into this specific conversation, a life of a young person as a Christian. You will hear it from the horse's mouths. For me, I'm a youth with gray hair. So, Musa and Moses, let's tap into it. But before we do that, Musa, who is Musa? Kima Musa.
Who's Musa? I mean, like, the moment you informed me that I'm going to be here, so I was sitting alone, just thinking about it, and then what came to my mind was where I was, where was I from, the experience I went through, everything, because that's what shapes a person, but what I'm going to say, just to sum everything, is I'm a child of God. Number one, I'm a child in my home, and also I'm a brother, so yeah, but I am saved. I know Christ. I believed.
That's a good thing to know.
That's who I am. That's Musa.
Yes. And before we even go on with our conversations, Kima Moses, who is Moses?
Hi, name's Moses. My entire life I've just been blessed by God. Just like Musa, I am an older sibling. I'm a brother. I am a child within my parents' home. I am a child within God's house for a very long time, and I had my difficulties, and I've had my moments of up and down. But in all honesty, even when I gave up on myself, I had people to help me out, and I know God kept those people around me to keep me up. So to sum up who Moses is a child who cares a lot about other people, cares very little about himself, which is needs work on that, but has people to watch over him and is always grateful to God for that.
Oh,
Well,
that's good to know. So since we're talking about a life of a young person as a Christian, let's dive into it. We are not going to round about the bushes.
yeah.
As a young person, you are saved, you are born again, you have friends
Yeah.
all over, born again, some are not born again, these people that you know that are not saved. What are the challenges that you face as a person who's young and is a Christian? And are you outspoken about it? Or are you shying away from speaking because you're thinking, I'm going to be called names, I'm going to be judged? What are the things? What goes on? So take us through the journey, like your journey.
Yeah.
I know you are young, but just
I mean,
a bit
like,
about that.
I mean, like, the moment you become saved, it's like you do an oath that I take responsible. I will take responsibility of. I'm a Christian. It's like taking a responsibility, making an oath to God. Now I'm yours, yes, but I have this responsible, like how Paul said that I have run a race. It's a race. There are going to be trials and tribulations. There are obstacles are going to be there. But it's like you made an oath to God the moment you said, I believe. Yes, I've heard the gospel. But also, it's like what I'm going to say is, I remember we were in class and then I just got saved. I was doing grade 10, I think. And then I used to argue with people, I used to engage in this conversation. Hey, God is this, and people will believe in their own things, whatever their culture they believe in. So, but as you grow into that, you learn that there's no need for you to really engage into those arguments. As a young believer, we face lots of problems. I think more than old people, more than our fathers and mothers, because we are going through that stage. We are sensitive. At the same time, we are still getting used to the
anything gets to
anything gets personal.
Yes.
Too much.
Yes.
Too much.
So it's kind of you grow into that. What I want to say also to the parents is just be patient with your children, especially in that age. So, but yeah.
Before we move on to Moses, you mentioned something about you being saved, you were in grade 10.
10, yes.
So this is you are saved.
Yes.
At that time, I'm
And
sure
I was doing silly things. Yes.
It was confusing.
Yes.
And remember, they know you as the person who, like you say, you did silly things. So they know the Musa who does silly things. And the next thing you come in class, you're at grade 10 in your uniform, and you're like, I made an oath to God.
Yeah.
And
so what happened is, I used to attend a church with my mother, so I will say I grew up in Christian environment. My mother was a Christian before she died, so so she passed away when I was doing grade 7, and then so I was like, my mother's not here. What am I here for in this world? Because in my mind as a child, I'm living for my parents. That's how a child is. I'm living for my parents, but it was like, so my mother's not here, and I was depending on her with everything. Me going to church, she used to carry me to go to church, everything, like it was like her responsibility for me. But I was like, okay, fine, who am I responsible for now? Who's going to say you are my responsibility now? So, but God has a way to reach out to his people.
Yeah.
He reached out to me through my pastor, not my current pastor, now my former pastor. And then he spoke to me about everything, because of when you lose someone, family is there to tell you otherwise. The world, already the devil has a plan for you. He has, what can I say? Like, he has everything prepared for you to receive in your mind.
We look around us right now, like he has orchestrated every corner. He has placed everything, especially for the young people. Like, he knows exactly what to place in front of a young person.
That's true. If God has a word for you, even the devil has something for you. So, but God, he's always 2 steps ahead.
Yeah.
So he explained everything to me. I'm still very thankful of him. He explained to me everything, that when a person died, it's only 2 places, hate and heaven. If you have received Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you go to this place, and then if you don't know him, you go to this place.
Musa is speaking big words there.
Sorry.
Hate is another word for hell. So that is so good. It's so good to hear young people actually call hell hate. It is hate.
Yes.
It is hate. So is there anything that is there anything relatable to what Musa is saying, or you have a different?
There are. Firstly, I think I'll go point by point. I'm lucky that I still have both my parents. I'm very lucky, and I'm also lucky that I haven't directly faced any individual that I've lost. I have lost family members, but not family members that I would personally say I know. Next thing that differs from me and you is that from a very young age, I've always been raised within the church. It's always been within our family. From my parents to my grandparents to everyone in our family has been raised in the church. And even in the church, you have a lot of challenges because you can be inside of a church, you can call yourself a child of God. But I think that makes things a lot harder and a lot more difficult because you've been raised in a certain way, you see the world in a certain way, and you're also open, your eyes are open. Most people think if you're a church child, you don't know a lot about the world, but that's not true.
Yeah.
You know a little bit too much to the point where even yourself, you're terrified to step into the light. Afraid of stepping into that darkness, that place where everyone is just enjoying life. You're out there like counting your steps. It's always been difficult. And then I personally, every mistake you make, I would catalog it. It would always be a sort of stain within my book. Regardless of how big or small it is, I would always hold myself to the highest degree. And there was a point in my time, and I think it was because I was too young, that I didn't understand the concept of there are things that are just out of my hands. So anytime I would make a mistake and it was technically out of my own hands, I would still hold myself accountable to the highest order I can. Because I always had this image of Christians need to be
Perfect.
well, yes, perfect. But I also understood that perfection is difficult to get. As they say, perfection's within the eyes of the beholder. And my eyes was always embraced with these characters, these people from the Bible. You know, people like Noah, people like Job, and then, well, my namesake, Moses, because everyone keeps reminding me of that. And I'm always there like, these are great individuals who, even in life, even in their time of strife, they still had a goal. They still kept themselves to such a high standard. And I always found it difficult to live up to those standards because, like Musa said, we live for our parents. I'm not saying it's my parents' fault. My parents raised me very well. They love, and I love them all back. But I feel as if I'm not worthy, not getting to that expectation. And it hurt me a lot because I always put myself lower than others. I always downgrade and downplay myself. And I think the biggest challenge of a child within the house of God is that we hold ourselves to unrealistically high standards.
That was the next question. Actually, I want us to tap into that before you move on with other points.
Okay.
That here you are a young person. Remember, you don't know what life holds ahead of you. You don't know what the future looks like. And yes, we are trained to grow in a certain way. But as you grow older, like there's an age, I don't know if it's 15 or 16.
Depends.
Something changes inside of you.
Yes.
And in a sense, you find yourself making your own decisions. And these are things that it's difficult for parents to understand. And we're not saying that the parents should take the decisions that we are making. What I'm saying is that's why the being firm on ourselves, being hard on ourselves, I think that's where it starts, because now you are holding yourself accountable. Your parents were holding you accountable. Now you are aiding on the accountability because you are looking at yourself and you're thinking, I need to be this type of a person, especially if you grow up in a church, especially if you grow under a parent who's a Christian. You're already thinking, I need to be perfect. I want us to focus on that because we are encouraging here the other young people. Is Christianity now about perfection? Because that's the thing. Most young people are scared to take a step because they're thinking, I don't want to be perfect. I don't want to be looking like that person. Like he looks too perfect. I can't be like that. I can't reach that standard. Somebody's looking at Moses. In as much as you are thinking, I'm looking lower at myself, somebody's looking at you and thinking, I can't reach Moses' standards.
Yes.
So I cannot even step into the doors of the church because I'm not like him. So let's talk about that.
I mean, like,
You as a young person, like where are you at? What is your perspective? What are your
Yeah,
like to
viewpoints
start
on
or should
that?
I?
Yes.
I mean, like, I think everyone once was there.
Yes.
I think
Definitely.
everyone, like, you have to be there. I mean, like, yeah, you're not. It's a thing, but you can't. I reached a point where I realized that I can't reach a perfection.
Yes.
Being a perfect person, I can't reach that stage, and I will never, because what Adam and Eve did, until I understood what happened in the tree of in the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
I understood. I can't reach.
Yes.
How I can't.
No
I
matter what
can't.
you do.
I know I'm naked. I
Before
became
God,
aware. Yes, I became aware that I'm naked.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I saw myself, I'm naked, and I am ashamed. I cannot walk naked
Oh,
around
wow.
these people.
Yes.
That's where I knew that I'm a sinner. I'll never reach the expectations, you know, but we have grace of God.
Amen.
So we cover that, yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, I never saw myself as perfect, in all honesty. And it's not being humble more as it just low self-esteem, but I learned to grow better in my skin. And unfortunately, that took me growing up a bit more.
Yeah.
I only got that recently, got that confidence, got the motivation. And again, like Musa said, I'm going to be jumping off of your line.
Let's hear it. Yes.
And again, like he said, you need to reach that point where you understand that perfection is just not going to happen. Because no matter what, even the people in the Bible were not not okay. There was at least one person. There was one person.
Jesus himself.
Yes.
Yes.
But the rest of them, humans, the one thing we all need to understand as like humans, and I think youth understand this a lot more nowadays, is that perfection is just a pipe dream. You're never gonna reach it. And even if you try to reach perfection, you're just going to destroy yourself in the process.
Yeah.
Because this world's like definition of perfection
Yes.
is not what the spiritual means of perfection is in the Bible.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think it's so sad, because just speaking to my own experience, it's so sad. As a new Christian, I think that's what you face, you know, because I will tell you about Jesus Christ on the street and you will come to church. You will want to be like me. And then you don't know.
They don't know your journey. Nobody knows the
They don't
journey.
know my journey. And then someone, and then you will try to hide yourself. You will try to hide whoever you want. You will wear that sheep, you know, thing. You will try to be perfect, and it's not what we are trying to spread the message. The message is not about that.
The
Yes.
thing is, being perfect, even the house of the Lord's not gonna get you anything.
Yes.
Not anything. I think also, what affects people to think like that, it's how they were raised. Some people, they are raised from cultures which you have to perform some rituals, some works, so you can be acceptable. You know, so I think that's what people come with, that mentality in the Christian life, that I have to be perfect. What can I do to please God? What can I do to please people? You know, and they start to hide themselves.
And I think the next thing is also the influence that we, like, our exposure to things every single day, to other people. We always compare ourselves to others, and I believe that just that image of us either being on their level or surpassing them is just, you know, it's something that we want to reach, but we know right now we can't. So we try to, you know, patch things about ourselves, maybe replace a few things. Even if we don't feel comfortable, we keep going. You know, the saying, walk a mile in someone else's shoes.
Yes.
Well, sometimes some people force themselves into a smaller size
Yeah.
or wear a bigger size, and they're not comfortable in that
Yeah.
shoe. So they start filling those shoes with like rocks, sand, something.
And
it's
cons
painful.
Cons are painful, guys.
And it's
like let's
painful, yeah.
take figuratively, let's literally
Yeah.
let's take a shoe, like the shoe that we were. Like, if it's small, the
You're
con
going to
is
hurt.
painful and it hurts.
And it
So how much more life, like
Yeah.
emotions, our psyche, everything else. So it's good that you are mentioning this at the age that you are at, to help others, that are your age. Because it hurts. It hurts to watch the youth go through that journey of trying to be perfect,
Yeah.
to try to meet a certain level, to be in somebody's shoes, like you say.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, that shoe isn't yours. It's not your size. Look, search for your size. Don't we go around the shops and search for our sizes when when you don't find a size? Let's say in Pep, in one store, you go to another store.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this life of Christianity, we are thinking that because
Yeah.
Musa wears a size
Yeah.
5, I also need to fit in a size 5.
And how nice
But God
to
created
find
your
your
foot
size.
to be a size 7.
It feels
So
amazing.
It feels so amazing to find your size. I'm like, yo, finally, I've been looking for this.
And so I
funny
like that you mentioning that, because like that would fall, like just
Yeah.
thinking about our discussion, because we are dealing about purpose, we're dealing about impact, we are looking at empowerment. So that's purpose. Like, what is your
Yeah.
purpose? Find your size. What is
Yeah.
your purpose? Somebody else's purpose is not your purpose. God created
Yeah.
you in a specific way.
Yeah.
So like, I like that you mentioning that, because basically you just hopped into purpose right there.
And
So
that's the thing. People struggle to find their purpose, especially in a world where everyone's telling you what you should be doing. Where even let me just pull the thing that's the loudest, the loudest thing that you'll ever have in your life,
that
regardless.
phone, yes.
And I'm not blaming phones. Phones are
Yes.
amazing technology.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's also the loudest thing you'll ever hear, the brightest thing you'll see. And it's the way other people tell you people use that thing to tell you what you should be doing, determined by what you already, exposed to, what you do. And now they're telling you how you should live your life. And some people, well, youth, and I know this myself because I'm still looking for my purpose. At least I'm trying to solidify it. I think I know what it is, but I'm trying to solidify it. And a lot of people don't know what it is. I've heard stories of older people that I've met in my life who said they're still looking for their purpose even now, but during that time they've been doing things that they feel is closest to it. They still need to solidify that. And I think right now, in a world that's vying for you, in a world that's pulling you in every direction all at once, it's difficult to find your purpose amongst all the noise. And the church and, well, God and just being a Christian is a good way of just cutting the noise for just a moment. And it just takes a moment just to quiet everything down, to at least find where you should start. I'm not gonna say it's gonna find you exactly where you should go or where it's gonna lead, but it's a good place to start. And I know my journey, I've been in that quiet place for way too long, to the point where I feel as if
I did
I'm
say
cold.
that I'm gonna get emotional. I did say that I'm gonna get emotional. This is a great topic. It's just so amazing to hear from the young people. It's very encouraging to me. It speaks to the younger me as well, and it's amazing to hear, to listen to the young people speak about purpose in such, I don't know, such confidence and such like you're solid in what you're saying, and that's what we want for the next for this generation, so that we can have a better leadership in tomorrow. And
I believe that
Yeah.
a lot of people do have this conviction. We're solid. We just don't have something to point it to. Because a lot of the young people I've met, or my peers, they all have a passion, a conviction, something they want to do. They're willing to fight for it. We have that fighting spirit. We just don't know
where to place it.
Yes.
Where to
We need direction. That's all it is. And once we find that direction, you'll understand it's very difficult to get us away from it. And we are stubborn to a fault. We just need something that speaks to us as a person. And that's it. I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of people call a dream.
Yeah.
And
I think just to really, you said you haven't, find your
solidified.
solidify. I think there also, what would I say is first of all, get a local church. Be in a local church. That's how you grow, and also purpose is something we don't find purpose through our jobs. No, we don't find our purpose. Most of the people, they will say, this is my purpose to make money. I'll be like, okay, would you go with your money to heaven?
Yay! You guys are throwing bombs here.
Yeah, sorry. No offense.
No, that's good. It's good.
So, but I'm like, find a local church as a young person, and then God will lead you into His purpose. You will walk in His purpose. We will never reach His purpose. You know, He's God. We will do so many things. You can be a pastor. After being pastor, you can go for missionary, spread the word. After spreading the word, you can help other people to, you know, that is your purpose. You know, you will never reach your purpose, but walking in the will of God, you know, you are walking in His purpose.
And
you are working on your purpose.
And I think
I was about to ask you actually when you talked about the will of God, that isn't that then the purpose?
It is.
You actually said it, something to keep in mind actually.
Yeah.
And I believe it's, a lot of people say it's the journey that matters, not the destination. And I believe
That's true.
walking on the purpose and walking with God is just the journey.
Yeah.
The destination is far beyond our reach, but we know, and I think it's that strength and conviction I was talking about earlier. It's that thing that drives us to keep walking on that road, regardless of what happens. Because again, if you meet someone on the lane, if you're driving, and they're really determined to get somewhere, you're not going to see them give you space. They're going to stay there. So I believe that's really what's happening.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're lacking. We're just lacking, you know, a placement for ourselves.
Yeah. You ended it on the right note actually when you're talking about placement. You've been talking so much about the church. You've been talking about pastors, I guess, leadership. So that placement, what would be your advice as a young person, or your what do they call it, your 2 minutes sent thing to say to the other young people, something to say to the young people regarding church, regarding like that placement. Where should the young people place themselves? Because we speak big words, as in like, yes, there's surroundings and everything. We speak big words, but that's placement. Where are we placing ourselves as people? What are the people, like the people that we are surrounding ourselves with? What are those people like? Who are those people? But what are they? Because that's the other thing. We are a spirit being.
Yeah.
You understand? What are they? What spirit are they? Like who are they? Are they people that are encouraging you to walk in your purpose?
Yeah.
Are they people that are pushing you to actually align yourself with the purpose that you have been given? So these are the things that I know. I, for one, when I was younger as well, I had to make a decision. There's a lot of things. I know I meet people and they'll tell me, how is it that your mom passed on when you were so young and then you still managed to be where you are at? I don't have the monies. I want the monies, by the way. Yes, I want the monies. It's not that we don't want it. Do you understand? I think that's what we need to, we need to really balance this. It's not that we saying people shouldn't go look for money. No. Go out there, but with the same energy. You are a Christian. You are living for Christ. So what are the balances in life as a young person? Because having friends that are not in the same church with you, having elders that are not in church, but you have to listen to them. You have to listen to elders, but they're not. Are you guys discussing this?
Yes. We'll go first.
Okay, let's start with one thing.
Okay.
Placement.
Okay.
Okay.
Where should I place
Should I-
myself? I'm a young person. I want to place
think maybe
myself,
place
Okay.
somewhere. Where do I place myself as a young person? I'm leaving my
Yeah,
place.
it's a.
Where do I place
You can
myself
write
as a
a
young
book from
person?
that.
Oh my goodness, we
can
need a book for that. I think personally for myself, I think the best place to start is, and I'm gonna take the Bible, is find a character in the Bible that you like or that you're interested in. Read their life stories, and then if you find something in there, maybe they helped someone, maybe they taught someone something, maybe they endured a great pain, and you resonate with that character, you resonate with that story, go to your local church, ask the pastor or anyone about the story, and then ask them, if this individual was within the church, what role do you think they would best suit for them? Most of the time, your pastor would not really give you a good answer, but sometimes your pastor would say, okay, I think they would fit in this and this and this role. And then you can sit down and discuss, okay, now pretend I was that person and I was looking for a placement. And these roles you've given me, I will consider them. And I think I'm interested in fulfilling this role. And if this role doesn't fit me as I start with it, maybe I can go into a different role. Because, and my pastor told me this a lot, there is spaces for you to do stuff within the church.
Amen.
And you just need the motivation to actually do them. Because I made an argument, and I will stand by this argument, as foolish as it is, but I'm saying that the reason we don't feel as home or spiritually connected inside of a church is because we don't have anything to do. All the spaces are either taken up by people who are much better than us, or just, too many people in that one position. And we're just there like, there's no reason for us to go into there and add more numbers. And then my pastor, and I don't think it was only my pastor, I think it was other members who are part of those positions, just like, no, that is not true. There's always need for more people.
Yes.
If someone's not here, someone needs to take their place. Even if that person's there, they're not going to be there forever. So it's better to, teach you how to handle it, seeing as you're young and you're here. We know you're here, we know that you want to do something. Take this role, follow, do it the best you can, and if the space opens up, you take over. So that's
every joint supply.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's
better to have
amazing.
more
That's
than
amazing.
less.
Yeah.
What was your question?
placement.
We're talking about placement.
Placement.
Within, yeah.
Oh,
But not necessarily as
most
duties or roles to do in the church, but placement in general.
Ish, what can I say, Mar?
This one's
You
uploaded.
said you said something at first, like you numbered them. I couldn't.
Yeah,
Your
she
question.
numbered.
You mentioned. I remember we have been mentioning leadership.
Okay.
We have been mentioning the church.
The church,
We have
yes.
been mentioning. Then I added friends. You understand?
Okay. Let
So,
me start on with friends,
Okay.
and then I will ask you again.
Go.
You're welcome.
I mean, like, so when I first, my first experience when I came to the church, so like I said that the devil already has planned for you. I came to the church. I was very innocent, né? And then
Were you?
I was very,
Innocent,
very
né?
innocent,
Yes.
just innocent mentally, not.
I get
So
you.
yes, I was
understand.
very innocent. So someone told me church business, what's happening, the gossips, and then it's like I eaten the forbidden fruit and I saw what's good and evil. Immediately my eyes were just wide open.
in the church.
Yes, I was like,
thing
this one is doing this, this one is doing
And the
this,
thing is, you
And then-
see that a lot
and,
easily,
you know,
especially in a church.
Yeah.
and they called themselves my friend.
Yeah.
And then my pastor used to say to me, I mean, like, he used to really preach about it. I won't mention his name.
Yes.
So until I struggled myself, I struggled, because I was kind of living two lives.
Oh.
The Bible says this: gossip. God is against gossip. God is against whatever is happening. So I was living under that thing. But when I was reading the Bible says this. But this person tells me this, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on here?"
Yeah.
And I became depressed,
Sure.
because I had to live this life and to accommodate that person because they call themselves my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And again, I have to be that good person to the pastors,
Ish.
And I know what's happening behind,
Sure.
My heart was like, so I prayed, God, God will convict you, because we have the Holy Spirit in us. So I prayed that God remove this person from me.
Remove.
Yes.
Yo.
There's no.
It's not good
Yo.
for it's not
It's
good for
not.
me.
Yeah. There's
Not.
no kind of way to put it.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no
Yes.
way. I can't fight for you
Yes,
in prayer.
sure.
But for my soul is important.
Can I do this? Yes.
My soul is important. I can't fight for your soul. I know, yes, I will pray for you, but
Yes.
And
I'm the one
sometimes-
dying
yeah.
here.
And sometimes it can be difficult to let go of those individuals because either by fear or just by you being that much of a good
Yes.
person, it can be difficult to let go of those type of things.
The problem is they are part of the church. So you don't know how to, stay away from them. They are part of the church. They are always there on Sundays, when Wednesdays. But it's like, God, you said I must love my brethren. But this brethren man, it's somehow, how? Why? It's like a tug of war. Like he's pulling this side and God is pulling this side. And I said, I can't be in between.
You have to choose.
I have to choose, and I choose you, God. So please remove this person from me.
Yeah.
Even now. Even now.
Sure, the importance of prayer. You mentioned prayer. I actually enjoy that. I don't know if I should actually be tapping into prayer right now because I want to talk about distractions. Like as we're talking about friends, I want us to talk about distractions that we face. Like I want us to name them, the ones that we can name them as young people. And if
I am ready for this one.
if there's anything,
Oh, we are all broke.
So-
I'm broke.
and broken, by the way. And we just broken. So I love that you mentioned prayer, the importance of prayer. I think we can at times, I would say this, let me encourage the young people. Young people, as you have heard, pray about situations. I think sometimes we are ready to talk to our peers, to say, I will face this situation, this person and this person did this to me, I'm going to face them. No, let God face them. Pray for that person. It's important. It's not easy. It's hurtful. It's hurting. Even if they say stuff to you, like let's say you got saved and they say stuff to you, pray about it. Talk to God about everything. Sometimes we think talking about God, about things that we consider stupid. We're like, these things are stupid. Talk to God about those things. Talk to God about your friends. Talk to God about your life, the journey that you want to, the path that you want to lead on, that you want to take as a person, as a young person, as young as you are. Speak to God while it's now. I'm talking to you as a youth with gray hair. Yes, that is covered nicely under this dupe.
Honorary.
So I really love the idea of prayer. So, which will lead me to distractions, as like in a young person's life. We have so many distractions. I'm saying we, because I've lived. I've been in the years that you are in. We, all of us actually, even though I'm talking to you as young people, there's so many distractions in life.
Yeah.
And most of us, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do as young people. So you are sitting here, and we're not saying that you guys are perfect. We're not saying that I'm perfect. So how do you guys deal with distractions?
It's
How-
not an. I think we should start by listing them. Then we'll start by answering that. In no particular order, the first distraction is destruction of our economy. Wow. I think most, if not a lot of countries, deal with this. There are things that are, like I said, out of our control. So the economy's in the dumps, things are getting more expensive, people are not getting paid, jobs are not happening, even though they might be there, people are not getting into them. It's getting harder to actually, live. And I think that's and I think it's that existentialism where it's getting harder for us to live, it's getting harder for us to be independent, it's getting harder for us to be ourselves, live private lives, because we're living in a world, in a time where everything is pretty much out in the open. Everybody knows if there's a scam. We all know what's happening. Everybody knows if the government's corrupt. Everybody knows whether or not this house will be in our reach within this many years. Everybody knows how much we're getting paid. We're in a world where things are easily accessible, but things are also easily corrupted and lied to, and just people are brazen. At this point, why keep it a secret? Everybody knows, so you might as well open it up, and we see it and we understand that it's there. We just don't have the power to do anything about it, and that's the number one distraction that leads to everything else. We don't have the power to control that. So let's deal with something we can control. How much time we waste on our phones, what we waste our time on, whether we sleep or not at night, what we eat, what we do with our free time, what we do when we're at work, if we even go to work, what do we do at school? Do we study? And we know we have to study, but maybe I can spare like 5 minutes not to study and all that. My mental health, my emotional health, my physical health. We have all these things, and I'm pretty sure at an earlier stage, and I'm going to you, honorary youth, I'm pretty sure during your time when you were like younger, and you didn't have to worry about so much of this stuff. I know you had to worry about something, but not everything all at once.
I'm telling you, I have to worry about TikTok at my age now.
Imagine.
I recently went on TikTok. Now, you know how TikTok is. You're scrolling, like you're saying. Like,
You're
that's
scrolling,
so much
and then
distraction.
it's not only distraction, but it's also information that you see. It's just that, like, this person, this side of the world's dealing with this. This person in our country is this rich.
Releasing
Here's what they
dopamine.
do. This person's doing this. It's like that, and it's just overwhelming. It's overwhelming, too much, and we're just there like we need it. Even if we sit down, it feels overwhelming just sitting down, because we're just there like, how do I look? Am I dressed properly? Is there someone watching me? Is my phone spying on me? And and it's just an issue of there's too much happening all at once, and the biggest distraction is that we cannot organize it. We spend too much time organizing it, and either not caring or caring too much. And then after we settle all the stuff that personally means something to us, we have to also settle stuff that means to the people around us, because you know we're interconnected. We care about the people around. So if someone's going through something hard, we decide to take our free time and see them, see if what issues are overwhelming them, and then try to help as best as we can, because that's just how human beings are. That's how we are. And as youth, we are like that the most, even though people would say that, you know, we're introverted, we're shy. We're not introverted when we're with our friends. Definitely not. You know that one person who's there at 3 a.m. up. If you say, dude, I'm having a bad time, they're just like, all right, I'll be there. 5 minutes. And they show up. And thing is, we're there for each other, but we are overwhelmed, in all honesty. That's distraction. That's the biggest one. And that honestly leads to everything else. And with all the distractions, we never find time to properly, you know, sit down and focus on our spiritual time, because we're too focused on our, you know, I need to survive physically. I need to, you know, protect myself emotionally. I need to stabilize myself mentally. Spiritually, I'll deal with that when I have the time. And you never have the time, especially now, with everything bombarding you all at once. You never have the time. People say 24 hours is a lot of time. No, it's not. Nowadays, it's not. We might as well have 36 hours. And then maybe we might have time. And I'm saying maybe because there are people who just woke up now.
Yes.
And there are people who just went to sleep now. We just never have the time for it.
Wow.
So, for me, the just shall live by faith. I mean, like, it's something that we are living by faith as Christian. That's what we have. I think that is the only treasure we can say, yes, I'm a believer, by having faith. You know, I was working. I'm struggling right now. I'm facing challenges on my education. You know, I choose a wrong course, man. Hey, it's showing me flames. So, but anyway, yeah.
I feel
So
that.
it's a struggle. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I become depressed. You know. Sometimes I feel like there's no hope. You know. Sometimes I feel like, God, what's happening with my life? Where am I going right now? You know, so sometimes, because sometimes when I'm going to see that zero bank balance,
The
I'll be
minus.
like, yeah. Someone was working, ne? I was working. So, but that environment I was working at, it was, I wouldn't say people must not work or must not, because people have responsibilities. God will give them the capacity to really, for that workplace. But for me, it was like, no, you know, no. And then I did it without, I'm living with my grandparents. They put, I have food on my tables, but they don't give it monthly. No, I was used to
No
monthly
monthly
salary.
allowance.
You know, I'm no longer receiving that. So, but there's joy, you know, through the storm. God provide peace for me through the storm. He still says, be still, you know, be still, you know. So what I would say also is, struggles are there. Where's the camera? Struggles are there. You know, we are struggling. We are facing so much hard times. You know, we can ever imagine. Sometimes we'll be like, God, even the devil will try to say, but is your God there, man? You know, but I believe that God is there. You know, we have to go through the sufferings. No, we have to accept that I'm going through this. No, it doesn't mean I'm accepting that I'm defeated.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
I'm not defeated,
Yeah, no.
and I will never be defeated. I'm more than a conqueror. I believe that, but I will just to accept that I'm going through this, but God will help me to really go through this.
I like how you both of you like answered the question like on distractions, like just the balance on it. And I love that you stepped really into the economy part of it. And I think that's the one thing that we are ignorant of it as people that are older. We
Yeah.
are ignorant of it, that our young people are really having a struggle in that area. We look at their lifestyle, you know, they're living in such and such a way. But I think we forget, or we tend to forget, that the economy has a part in the struggles of our youth, of our young people as well. So I like that you actually raised it. We will further it hopefully next time, and would like to hear
Yeah.
actually from other people, you know, on this topic of economy, how it's affecting our young people. Because I know a lot of people that are depressed. Yes, you know, they are actually on antidepressants or whatever because of this situation, not necessarily because they chose a wrong path in life. So as you are talking, that really, it weighed me down, like just thinking about it. Like we forget, and I'm gonna sit here and admit that we forget. Yes, we talk about it, but we tend to forget when we see a young person living a type of life, a certain type of life. We forget that there's such a situation called economy that is affecting, that is actually a distraction. We see it as a normal thing because it's happening in South Africa, in our country, but it's actually a distraction because it's taking a young person's focal point from, you know, moving the focal point from, like you were saying, from the spirituality. Then you focus on such things, and then we end up saying that the young people don't want to walk with God. It's not every young person that doesn't want to walk with God.
Yeah.
So as you were talking, really, I thought about these things. I've thought about them before, but it came to me fresh again to say there is young people that are willing, that really desire to walk with God, and the balance to say we walk by faith, we raise by faith. Like there is this distractions, so to take a step and actually say God. Like what you're saying, like, God, are you in my life? Are you here?
there?
So to ask God, to face God, I think sometimes we are scared to face God. Like young people, it's like about, the ritual,
I mean, like,
the works.
I'm his problem. I'm God's
Ish,
responsibility. I'm
you're
his problem.
He must sort you out.
So he
must
must sort
solve you.
out.
Ish,
How?
but I also think that we need to actually, just be there like, Ish, that God, Din, I messed up, so I need you to hear me out.
Yeah.
And if there's a way, forgive me. Ish.
Yeah.
And I think that's the first step because, like
Yeah.
a lot of parents do have issues, parents are not gonna be able to read your mind as a young child. You need to go up there and talk to them, and it's difficult to do that. I know that it is difficult.
Yeah.
There are things you just don't want to talk to grandparents, parents, elders. You just don't want to talk to them about it because either they're gonna get mad at you for doing this, and they're like, I don't want to deal with the pain and the stress of doing that. Or you're just afraid that they will be disappointed because they know you know better. And that goes into the whole perfection part.
Yeah, they know him better. That part for young people. I mean, this technology has, like you were saying, it can be bad, but actually it's meant it was meant for good, like for us to use it for good. Yes, the other people use it for bad. So the young people, I don't know if I should say fortunately or unfortunately, they know a lot better than the adults, but we don't want to accept. We really don't want to accept. And I love that we're talking about this. Like even the economy, like there's a lot that you said that I will get out of this conversation with. And it was a wake-up call to me as well, sitting here. Like a way to face the youth, a way to help the youth.
Yeah.
Like with that said, I mean, we have spoken about a lot of things, and yes, we wanted to touch all the distractions, but I think you spoke about the economy, so I'm going to leave it here. Like I'm going to just focus more on it, and if anything else adds on it, that's fine. But how can now you are sitting here, you are a young person, there's someone from the outside, an elderly person or someone, how can someone reach out to a young person to help? Because we think we know how to reach out to a young person, but actually we don't know how. It's the how part. You understand? Maybe some people know and some young people are stubborn. How can an elderly reach out to a young person and say, I'm here for you? Not just words, but I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I think,
yes.
like you said, some people are stubborn, and I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
But I think the first step is just to ask them.
Please hold on the thought. I'm not scared to do this. Are we still okay? All right. Thank you. Let's move on.
Right.
Yes.
Like I said, some people are stubborn, but I also think the best way to start is just to talk. Ask them if they could spare a minute. Then first get to know them, because like any other person, we're not going to open up immediately.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm here comfortably talking to you is because, I built enough of a relationship to trust you with this information. So it's going to take a bit of time, and we just ask for patience.
Patience.
Yes.
I mean, like
We are hearing patience. Patience.
I mean,
Yes.
like sometimes when you like relationship, but sometimes like it's the first time I meet you, I can't bring my Christian professionalism to you. Like God said this, God. Do you think that person will accept?
And even if you're not coming in as a Christian, I'm not gonna tell you, hey dog, my money was bad, because I'm not gonna give you that baggage, because
We are humans.
we are humans.
God knows why He put us together, So, but if I come to you, for example, outreach, I will approach a person. Hi, how are you? I'm good. Are you good? Yes. What is your name? My name is Moses. So how is it going, Moses? Everything's going well. So, my name is Musa. Also, just have a pamphlet here. So that is our church. I'm attending a church right there. So if you have time, you can come. And said, okay. So do you know Christ? What do you think about Christ? Do you know Him? What do you think? Do you attend any church? Maybe. You can be like being character, maybe. And then I'll be like, I don't attend church. I'm going to say, why? And then,
It's that,
you know,
why?
that's
That one,
why.
not when you shut us down completely. Which is
No, like, yo, why is not like, it's like, why, but in kind of a funny way.
Yes,
Yes, it's
that
like,
vibe.
why?
It's that vibe. That's what shuts us down.
And then that person, I don't attend any church because of this and this and this maybe. And then you start just come as a human to that person first.
Don't try to sell your church to
No.
us.
So basically, in as much as you're talking like outreach, invitation, so what I'm getting is youth. What you're asking for is patience. And come to me
Towards
as
people,
a
yes,
person,
as a
like
person.
just a
That's-
person.
yourself.
Don't be yourself.
That's all we
Don't
want.
come to me like
Be yourself.
wearing
we just wanna
your
talk to another
graduation
person, that's it.
gown and
No.
I've been through this journey.
I remember
gown.
you told this story, ne? I still remember it in my mind.
told it?
You.
Me.
And then
Oh, what an
you were at
expose, yes.
Acadia, and then you said you met this girl. You didn't tell her about anything, but you just gave her a hug. She was going to write her exams.
Yes.
So I think that is the mentality I always carry to go to
Oh, wow, I
outreach.
even forgot.
You know,
We just want to feel the human.
the
in you.
human,
Yes.
you
That's
know,
all we want to
just
feel,
be
yeah.
yourself, and
Yes.
then you being yourself, I'll be able to, this person understand, you know, he be in my shoes, you know, be in my shoes. If I struggle, then I struggled, I remember that situation, you know, together, and then God will also create that space. So now is the time to tell her or him about me, you know, how your testimony testify.
Yeah.
Be patient. Just be human. Be in their shoes. But we spoke about shoes earlier on.
Yeah.
So it's just a memory bag. It's not necessarily that your foot must fit in shoe
Just,
size. But
dip your toes
just
in.
dip your toes in, yes,
Just a
memory
little bit.
lane, and be like, I've been there.
Yes.
Not be like, pretend like you've never been there. So this is something that these are young people that are speaking to us as elders. I'm standing here as an elder, so they're speaking to us. So those are I'll just take those three things, like be patient, just be normal, be a human being, and be tap your what?
Yes,
Tap
your toes.
your toes
Your toes.
in their
Like,
shoes.
Feel
So I
that
think
coldness.
you feel that coldness. just feel it. Because we're not saying that. I think most of the things, like, we're not saying that the young people are correct all the time. And here is the balance with me. I always say, young people are not always right, just like adults are not always right.
Yeah.
So yes, they need to be heard. Young people need to be heard. And I'm really excited to be having a conversation with you guys, because I want you guys to be heard. I want the other young people after you guys to be heard. Such topics, I didn't know where this conversation was going to go. And I'm really beyond, extremely, beyond words, about what you just shared. But yes, you can still add. You can still add more. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate your insight. I appreciate your mind. I'm not a mind reader, but I appreciate your mind. I appreciate what you just shared. I hope that many other young people are encouraged and actually encouraged to come and sit, and talk to us. Let's talk. Young people need to talk. Speak up. No one will know what you're going through if you don't speak up. No one will know. If a person approaches you and are really genuinely willing to hear you, speak up. Here is a platform created for you. Speak up. If you are shy to speak up, speak. When I'm with you behind the walls, speak. Then somebody will come and present a matter, on your behalf. So here's a platform for you guys. And I'm welcoming you to please speak up. And this is to say, life of a young person as a Christian, there is much more that we can say.
I mean,
Thank you so much. Yes, you wanted to say.
Just to add on that,
Yes.
find a church.
Yes, find a church. Find a church.
But also,
Yes.
but also, the Bible advises us on how to know the Spirit that preaches the gospel. By seeing the Spirit, it says, like, the Spirit by it will acknowledge and confess that Jesus Christ came in flesh.
Yes.
And He's God, He's the Lord. So by seeing that in your church, know that you are in the right church. Being in a church that preach the gospel, not prosperity,
Preach, young one, preach.
money,
Yes.
whatever. Like
Yo.
find a church that preaches
Wow.
the gospel.
Amen.
This is something amazing for a young person to leave you with. Find a church that
Preaches
preaches.
the gospel.
I think you have to say it. Look into that camera and actually say it to our young people. Please say it.
Find a church that preaches the real gospel.
The gospel of Jesus Christ.
How would you know? Bible says the Spirit will acknowledge and it will confess that Jesus Christ came in flesh and He is the Lord. Amen.
Wow.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Musa and Moses. It has really been a great honor to have you.
It's been a pleasure to be a part of
Like
this.
such an honor to be sitting and listening to both of you. Thank
That's
you
so nice.
so much. Thank you. Ke a leboga bareetsi, ke a leboga babogedi. Thank you to everyone that has taken time to listen to this. And thank you to our precious
Souls.
guests. Your souls.
Yes.
Yes.
Precious.
And
Yay.
I would really like to acknowledge Oxana 7 for making this conversation what it is. Thank you. Till we meet again. Goodbye.